Well, you know, our guest will be coming on. I'm actually
So,
dressed.
if you could enlighten the audience about our guest, who the guest is, where is he
Yeah,
going to
I
zoom
am.
in from?
Okay.
Right now, we just got the Florida people on,
Yes,
and
our guest will be zooming in from Charlotte, North Carolina, and he is the first person to have run marathons around the world with toga. Toga means that's the traditional attire for the
so he runs
grassland
in this
people.
outfit.
Yes, he ran in Greece. He ran
Is it
in
a black outfit like that?
uh,
Is it a black outfit like that?
well, colorful like this. You saw
It's
how.
colorful, but I mean, I would rather have more yellow and less black.
Well, that's your choice, but everything is it has a symbolism,
Because the
cultural.
way the sun is attracted. Because me being an undertaker, I wear black all the time, and
That's exactly what I'm saying. That you wear black because it defines your profession. And when I wear this, it sends a message. The pictures on the cloth itself is cultural. It sends a lot of significance about the culture. But to get to your main question, I wear this to support our guest who will be zooming in from North Carolina, Charlotte, and he is the only person to have won the traditional grassland field, mostly from Bamenda, to run the marathon in Greece, all over Europe, and he will in New York, and he will be running the Boston Marathon. So on is it April 17? So it's to actually he will be zooming on to talk about his quest to run and help disadvantaged kids in Africa and here in the United States.
very good.
Thank you, John.
Back to you, Cliff.
And also it's an opportunity for City Life and Dawn Patrol Show to show diversity, inclusion, and equity. When I call,
Before our guest arrived, along the same theme, the Census Bureau is looking at changing categories of people in the next census. And if you go out on the internet, you can leave comments on what's going on. But one of the ideas that's been put forward is to differentiate in the census for black people between those who were descendants of slaves and those who came to the United States on their own volition, let's say after slavery. Although I don't understand what that does to people that say come from Barbados or Jamaica. How do they categorize themselves? Come from the islands, come from Brazil. I don't know. Have you run across this, Farouk?
not really, Cliff, but I say this is my own opinion, and I don't know what the prevailing thought behind this is all about. I would say, why would the census not also categorize and divide the French from Europe, the British from Europe as groups? They will everything is always targeted to dividing the black people and diluting their own power. That is the politics. That's the politics. Whether you say whatever it is, why should it be about black people and putting together in the Caribbean or whatever? I mean, when you look at white people, they're looked upon as homogeneous. When you look at black people, you put them these labels,
in the proposal for the new census, they do ask Caucasians to indicate what country they're from: Irish, Greek, French. So we're running into that.
But they are not putting them in separate groups. They are white people. The country is more or less, the country is, they will not lump them as a group of this, but that is psychologically also putting all stage historical Western way of breaking the minority way back. It is not some. It is from the old books, and they are just. It's more or less like a chameleon. When you settle on a green leaf, you become green. When you settle on, they are adapting to current changes in demographics and what's going on around.
You have to talk louder to him because, see,
Kizito, are you there?
Yes. I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we cannot see your face.
I am on video.
All right, we can
I
see.
might have to use my phone.
There
That's
he
okay.
is.
We can see you
Can
clearly.
you see me now?
Yes.
Go ahead, Fruit.
All right. Hope you can see my big smile.
Oh well, you're welcome, Kizito. I will. You're welcome to Dawn Patrol Show, coming out of our great city, all-American city of
Thank
Lowell.
you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Right, and I am going to pass you to our host, and he will ask you to speak a little bit about yourself. So over to you, Cliff.
Okay. So kids, tell us, how'd you end up in Charlotte? Well, maybe you can't hear me.
Sorry, it's breaking up. I did not hear you.
I said, how did you end up living in Charlotte, North Carolina?
Question here, how did I end up in Charlotte? So, thank you again. Thank you for having me. This is a really big opportunity, and I'm really, really excited to be talking to you. Finding myself in Charlotte, I moved to the United States almost about 22 years ago. My port of entry was Houston, Texas, and I was in Houston for about 10 years. Then I got since I'm in the banking industry professionally, I got an opportunity to move. I got a big opportunity, career opportunity that I could not refuse. So that's what actually brought me to Charlotte. And so far, it's been a very, very great opportunity and a great place for me to stay.
So you're running in the marathon, but you're doing it to support literacy for children. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. So I have a history of running marathons. As you can see, I tend to show off my medals in the back. I have it's gonna be my Boston Marathon is gonna be my 15th. So I run an organization called Amom Foundation. So we have been basically focused on providing didactic material, educating kids in Cameroon, especially in the Northwest area. So as recently, I have been raising money just to be able to help some of the kids who have not been able to go to school due to to the civil unrest. So I used Marathon as a platform, and I also used Togo also to promote my culture and also as a way to recognize where my heritage. I know exactly, how the plight of our people in Cameroon.
I say yes. Do you have sponsors? Is that how you raise the money?
I do not have sponsors. Interesting enough, not all the marathons that I've been running has been self-funded. I pay out of pocket, but I use platforms just to make sure that we raise people contribute towards the cause. And having sponsorship is also something that I'm really open to. It will be a great idea, so we can portray it, we can take the cause to the rest of the world.
How is the literacy program going?
Well, the literacy program is going on quite well. So when I say quite well, it doesn't mean the kids are getting educated. So as of last year, we actually conducted a survey, which is more like a citizen-led assessment program. And what does that mean? It means that we basically went to different households and did a literacy and numeracy test for kids between the ages of 6 and 14. And we basically did that in 3 regions: the Northwest region, the Western region, and the Central region. The Northwest region is where kids have not been able to go to school for almost like 5 years due to the civil unrest. And that has had a lot of impact on their literacy level. But there's been no data out there to show exactly, the impact on their literacy level. So we basically went to the field to bring out that number. And to your greatest amazement, we realized that in the Northwest region, there were 96% of the kids could not read up to grade 3 material. And there were some kids who were between the ages of 12 and 16, almost 70% could not read the grade 3 level material. So there is a huge crisis, and one of the aims why I'm raising funds is basically to go there and teach kids at the right level, not necessarily teach them based on their age. So we teach them based on their literacy level. So we get them in one area, get the community organizers, and we basically go in there and try to help the kids to catch up with their literacy level.
Is the government helping you in this area, or is it hindering, getting in the way of your activities?
Interesting enough, we have an MOU, a memorandum of understanding with the Cameroon Ministry of Basic Education to execute on this citizen-led assessment program. So I was fortunate to go meet the minister and present this result. But we needed more additional funding to work on expansion. So the government said they were going to work with us, but all they could basically provide were basically facilities, funding, and it was not possible for us to get additional funding. So we are trying to see if we can reach out to international organizations and any other sponsors who can help us expand on the program. Because what we did was that we had funding to carry out survey for 1,731 children. There are so many children out there who basically need to know their literacy level, and who need help.
So you're going to be up here on next Monday, right? You're coming to Boston next Monday?
Yes, I am so excited. I'll be in Boston on Friday. I am super, super excited. It's going to be my first visit to Boston. And what else is it? How else is the best way to see Boston rather than to see Boston on foot? So I'm excited. I'm pleading to everybody, every Cameroonian and the Boston community, the loyal community, to come out there. And when you see me in Togo, please just shout out, and that goes a long way. Come run with me. Come support as much as you can.
Okay. Fru, do you have a question?
Well, Kizito, I really admire you. You see, and I also would inform our audience that you can see our cultural exhibition here. We are from the grass field of Cameroon, and particularly from in the Bamenda area, and you would very much know that Lowell and Bamenda are sister cities since November 5th, 2002. So it gives a wonderful opportunity to visually bring our cultures here and represent and bring Bamenda to Lowell visually. So going on with this marathon, again, what is your main message? What do you expect from the Lowellians and the Americans who will be watching and seeing an African American run the race in our traditional regalia called toga? Over to you.
First of all, I would like to thank Lowell City and for adopting Bamenda, the city of Bamenda, as a sister city. My message to the whole Lowell community and the U.S. is just basically to come, help support. You can go to www.amomfoundation or amomcharity.org and donate towards the cause. And it will be a great honor for us to, in this cultural attire, to come out there and basically find people who can be able to give a shout out and give a recognition to all, to what we are trying to fight for, what we are not necessarily fight, but what we are trying to let the world know, that there are people, there are children out there who do not really have much, facilities to get them to school. And just to add on to that, another area where I focus on also is autism. Autism is an area where, especially minority kids are left out. They don't have enough resources to be able to, to get the help that they need. So we are raising money. We're still raising funds. Go to www.amomcharity.org and click on the donate button. It will go a long way. And we really, really, really look forward to your support.
Well, thank you again. I'd like to use this opportunity to thank the Dawn Patrol Show for giving this platform for you to tell the world about the wonderful philanthropic effort that you are doing to educate the children who are very, very disadvantaged and need our support. Cliff?
Yeah, I do appreciate it too, and I understand the importance. I had a hard time learning how to read. I had to have a tutor. Fortunately, one of my neighbors picked up the responsibility and helped me learn how to read and at the same time to play canasta. So I appreciate the fact that you're going the extra mile and or the extra 26 miles, and I wish you the very best. And I appreciate you coming on the show.
All Cameroonians, please, Africans, come out in your traditional attire and display our culture to the Bostonians and Lowellians to enjoy ourselves and support our brother. Kizito, good luck, and see you on Monday Boston Marathon. Do you have any final words?
I would really like to thank you for providing me with this platform, giving me this opportunity to share my message. And all I just have to say is it's been a lonely journey, going out to Berlin, going out to Greece and London and running in Togo. And at the end of the day, just seeing a few spotted people who could actually recognize the attire. And right now, it's becoming a global phenomenon that we're promoting our culture through this way. And it will be a great honor and privilege for me to, for everybody to come out there in your traditional attire, come out and try and support, and let's get this moving, and let's be proud of our heritage. And while being proud of our heritage, let's raise funds to also help those who are underprivileged. Again, go to www.amomcharity.org and try to support as much as you can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey, good luck on Monday.
Thank you.
Sticking with Africa for a second, I sent John a map. Maybe he can bring it up.
Okay, Kizito, goodbye and good luck from the great people of Lowell, and to you down there in the Carolinas, and also connecting with our sister city, Bamenda. So long.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
I was looking at the news, and I saw where there were 44 people killed in Burkina Faso. Maybe I didn't pronounce that properly, but it's a country to the west-northwest of Nigeria. And I mentioned to you over the weekend, did you learn any more about this?
Thank you for always out there looking at what is happening around the world, Cliff. And when you mentioned, I checked it. But this is, like I said, I am not an expert in this field. I'm just giving my lone observation from my vantage point, and that should not be taken as speaking for any group or for Africa or anything. No, I am observing and listening to people. But what I really see is just, it used to be called Upper Volta.
Okay.
And then they changed it to Burkina Faso. That's the people of that area. That's what the name means. Because Upper Volta, those were colonial names that the colonial master given. So with what is currently going on now, if you realized, again, you would know that the French are behind everything that's going on in Africa. Because if you could understand that their sole economy is based on the Francophonie, and whatever, and it benefits them very well if that place is destabilized. And they will go there and saying they are fighting Al-Qaeda, they are fighting this, but they are busy funding guns on both sides to be doing whatever they are doing so that they can continue to exploit the raw materials. So when you reach the headline, you have to read it with a grain of salt. Burkina Faso is this a third Western African country that have kicked the French out. We have Mali, we have Central Africa, and with this, it's causing a lot of headache in France, because if they leave Africa, France will be done. So if there is civil, they will do everything to fund the people, to destabilize that people. When you hear that people are shooting each other and killing each other, there is no gun manufacturing industry in Africa, is it? And who are the ones who are manufacturing the guns? From outside, to come in and cause problem, then go on world news and say they are killing themselves. But the truth is they are using that so that, yeah, that's Burkina Faso. Niamey is the capital of Niger. That's Mali, up. Yep. Yeah. So that's all I can say.
Burkina Faso, is that a separate country? Is that a...
John, if you look at all those lines, those are lines that the Europeans carve in Africa to separate one continent for all those areas. Those are French. The French idea was to govern from east to west, and then the British was from south to north. That from Cape to Cairo. So if you look that bulk around there, you see Chad, Niger, Algeria, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Those are French colonies. Across there, Central Africa are French colony and part of Cameroon. You see Nigeria, you see Ghana. Those are English colonies.
Okay, well, let me ask you. If you look at a map of this part of the world, Canada and America, Canada and the United States are referred to as America, North America.
No, Canada, United States, and Mexico are referred to like North America.
What I'm saying is that this regional map we have is Africa.
Yes.
Okay. Now, these lines, this Burkina Faso, is that a separate country?
Yes, it's good you have those lines. That is what happened in 1885. That the Europe.
What I'm asking, this is a separate country. So they
yes.
have their own president or their king or whatever they might have.
Countries in the bottom, my countries, Benin, Togo.
Yes.
Nigeria, Cameroon,
Georgia's favorite, Cote d'Ivoire.
Yes. They have their own government. That's one block. But all those lines were met with partition by the West. Either they are French or they're English.
Now, of these different countries we're looking at on the screen here, you used to live in Cameroon.
Yes.
Cameroon, the United States seemed to be a better place to move to, so you moved to the United States. Of this region here, of all the countries we can see right here, from Chad all the way to Cote d'Ivoire, which country would you, if you kicked you out of the United States, which country would you pick?
I would pick Africa, because that's one country that was partitioned.
Yeah, that's a continent.
Well, I understand. That's what I'm getting to that. But
which government has the best government?
In terms of democracy, you have Nigeria and Ghana. Those are two English countries, Nigeria and Ghana. If the conditions were normal, I'll go to Cameroon.
They're not normal.
I'll go to Cameroon.
Conditions are not normal.
Well, Nigeria is the big prosperous country in the area. So if you're looking to go to a country that's
nobody in
doing
attendance
well.
knows anything about Nigeria's politics in 2023.
One of the things that I was seeing last week was the countries are moving away from the U.S. dollar as the reserve currency. Brazil has agreed to exchange goods with China using their own currencies. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will sell oil to China using the Chinese yuan as the currency. Malaysia has agreed to drop the dollar and trade with China. So I'm wondering if this is all sort of a result of the United States and Western Europe imposing sanctions on Russia and upsetting the national currency, international exchange.
Hey,
What are your thoughts on that monetary issue?
I think the Western world did it. They caused it for them, upon themselves. You know, this probably started with the on-board diplomacy that started in the early 2000 with the second invasion of Iraq, and anything that it doesn't concern the West, the U.S. and Europe, they will impose sanctions. If they don't like any government, they impose sanctions. And with this, I really think that it is more or less isolating the world and making the world think that if they are using the money to control us, we need to get a different thing. It is the West that is forcing these countries to think differently, not Russia. Russia is just I would say, the last straw. If there's a country out there that opposes the West, they will rush to sanction and tell me any Western country that they have ever imposed sanction on. You fool the world once, shame on you. You fool the world continuously, shame on the world. That is how it's getting.
We're going to do a break.